What's up, small man gang? How's everybody doing today? Kind of wanted to talk about one of our teammates. Yeah, he recently got promoted, and I was kind of thinking about, the progress people make in jiu-jitsu, right? Like, I think for me and Cart, because we're further along, we do like to study. We watch videos. We talk things through. We train together. I think it's kind of a unique situation where I have a built-in training partner, so my studies and discussions and things that happen outside of the school gym classroom, I think is a lot more than the average or the casual person that trains, right? I was having a discussion with one of my other teammates the other day, and I was talking about how you gotta kind of use class in a different way. It's not so much you're trying to always get the pin or the sweep or the submission. I mean, I think we talked about this before in the past, that if you never get in a bad position during training and it happens in a comp, you ain't gonna have good results, right? It doesn't matter what your coach yells at you, because you never experienced it. It's gonna be hard to get out of it, right? So kind of told her, look at things different. I said, you don't roll at home, you don't train at home, right? She goes, yeah, no. So I said, you gotta start to use class in the fashion where you're not always trying to win. You gotta kind of, I don't want to use the diversify, but try to put yourself in different positions, good, bad, or otherwise, right? So you can kind of learn through that, right? So I know that I think in the past she would come to class and say, oh yeah, I saw this on Instagram, I want to try it. But I haven't heard that as much lately, right? So sometimes, the interest in jiu-jitsu will elevate. Sometimes it'll sink. Sometimes it'll just plateau, right? So not saying that her interest in jiu-jitsu has changed, but just the approach, right? Sometimes the hunger gets satiated and you're not as hungry, so you kind of plateau a little bit until the next thing comes up, and then you start to push for it, right? And with the big tournaments coming to Hawaii, the IBJJF, kind of told her, you got when is it, July? So you got maybe 4 months to prepare. So 4 months is more than enough time to add things to your jiu-jitsu game and kind of perfect it. Maybe not perfect it, but get it good enough for comp, get it comp ready. But anyway, so back to our teammate that just got promoted, right? Actually, there's two teammates that got promoted. So one guy, I'll talk about this first guy, right, that got promoted, right? So he's been doing privates, right? Anybody does privates consistently, I know that person wants to get better, right? Either that, or you're like Moneyberg and you got all this money and who cares, right? You just throw it around. I know he doesn't have that kind of money, so he takes privates, right? He started recording his the classes probably, I don't know how long ago it's been, probably several months now, and he breaks it down and watches it, right? Because he sends clips to Carter and says, oh, this and that, and I found this and that. So he's studying hard, he's watching, he's super motivated to get better, yeah. And I've seen his progression in the early days, because he's bigger than me, right? So I think he plays basketball on Sunday, so he's athletic, right? So I could kind of, I don't say fool around, but I could kind of get the better of him without trying too hard, right? That's 3-4 months, bro. That dude's been giving me a hard time, and it's freaking white belt, right? I'm thinking to myself, that dude's a freaking white belt, right? And he's giving me a hard time, but he, I don't know if like he studies videos and sees where he's getting problems, and then when he goes to his private sessions, he asks, can we cover these things, or what am I supposed to do? Because some of the stuff I used to do, he blocks it now, right? So okay, all right, so I gotta be a little bit more sneaky. I gotta come up with some new stuff, which I love that, where people that I go with have counters to my movements now. So now I need to figure out what the counter is to their counter, right? So you trump me, I gotta trump you back. So I like that. I'm super proud of the guy. Like his jiu-jitsu is like elevated big time, right? So we got another guy that got promoted also, right? And he's a little older grappler. I think he's in his 50s, right? I think he was. I think he played college. He was a college athlete too, right? So good shape, strong as heck, right? He's got incredible base, right? Very solid in base. Interestingly, he records all the classes, but in a different way. So he records the techniques. So all the techniques that are shown, he records it. I'm not sure how he utilizes that. We've never discussed what he does with those. I'm sure he looks at it. So he's a smart guy too, right? So we're both in like we actually work together. So we're in IT, right? So he's smart, intelligent, right? So he uses the internet to his favor. So talks to me about different guards that he's been trying. He's tried a few different things in class, and then I've given him some critique on what I thought, right? Trying to help him through some different positions. So his progress is there, but it's not quite like the other guy. Like I said, when you're doing privates on a consistent basis, your jiu-jitsu will elevate. It will elevate. Unless you're just like paying and not paying attention, and you're not really taking it seriously, you will elevate your jiu-jitsu game. I believe it's 100% will get there, right? So anyway, it's just interesting how different people use their personal time, I'll call it, to either accelerate their jiu-jitsu development, or they don't, right? And it depends a lot on what your goal is, right? Do I really want to get good? And interestingly, these two guys that got promoted, they're not competitors. I don't think they'll ever compete, but they love the challenge. I believe that's what it boils down to. A lot of people talk about jiu-jitsu as being very much a thinking man's sport. More so with, I'm not saying I don't have anything against no gi, but I know I've heard people say that the gi is a little bit more technical, because now you got clothing to grab onto. You can grab sleeves, cloth. So the intricacies of the guard are a lot more, right? In no-gi, there is guards, but the controls are a lot different, right? So anyway, all right guys, thanks for hanging in there. Catch you on the next one.